Hello everyone, so today I wanted to make a video because the long list of the Booker Prize 2023 has been announced sometime today, and I have already looked at the list and see the things I'm interested in and the things I can get from the library and all of that. So let's just go through the books and I will talk a little bit more about them. Overall, I will say a lot of books that I have never heard about as usual, and also a lot of books that some of them sound interesting, some of them less interesting, but there's nothing that this year that I have seen and I'm like, wow, I need to read that. So we will see how much I get done. But yeah, the first one in the list is A Spell of Good Things by Giovanni Adebayo, and I have heard about this one. I have read the previous book by her, Stay With Me, and I liked it, but it's a little bit more of a one of those books that you read, you enjoy, and then you move on with your life, not something that has stayed with me necessarily. So this one, I mean, I'm not opposed to reading it, but it's also not like I'm dying to read it. So from the summary, it's about a boy and a girl, and the boy is poor, the girl is like perfect, but it's tired of her life, and then something brings them together. It looks pretty standard to me. But yeah, I'm not opposed to reading it because I have enjoyed Giovanni Adebayo before. I just don't think it's like my favorite author or anything. The next one is All God's Time by Sebastian Barry. Again, I have read a Sebastian Barry before, the one that I think it was also nominated for the Booker last time. And it was okay as well. So again, I'm not opposed to reading this, but I'm also not like dying to read it. And this sounds like a bit of a like mystery police stuff, which is a little bit different from what I have previously read from him. And yeah, I'm not particularly looking for this book, but we will see. We will also see about the reviews. If a lot of reviews are very positive about any of these books, then I might be more interested, because there's also nothing that I'm like, I absolutely do not want to read this. So yeah. The next one is Study of Obedience by Sarah Bernstein, and this is woman and reliable narrator, and yeah, it sounds a little bit like a lot of unfortunate things happen to her, and then there are a lot of prejudice within the community. And yeah, that's kind of what it's about. And I'm not, overly drawn to this. The author is Canadian, which is interesting. I don't think there are too many Canadians in the Booker long list normally. So that's nice. The next one is If I Survive You by Jonathan Escoffery. I hope I didn't butcher that. And yeah, this one is 1979 in Kingston, Jamaica. So historical novel about someone kind of trying to make ends meet in Jamaica. And it says it's humorous, and yeah, again, I'm not against it, but it sounds like something that I have read before, so I'm also not like dying to pick this up. Then How to Build a Boat by Elaine Finney, and this one is a little bit more interesting to me. So it says Jamie O'Neill loves the color red. He also loves tall trees, patterned rain that comes with wind, the curvature of many objects, books with dust jackets, cats, rivers, and Edgar Allan Poe. And then it says at the age of 13, he wants to build a perpetual motion machine and connect with his mother, who died when he was born. And to me, he sounds like he's on the spectrum, and he's an interesting character. There is not like this is completely new, but this sounds a little bit more new to me, which I'm here for. And this is from an Irish author, which I have enjoyed quite a few Irish books lately, so I'm also interested in this. And it says that she is a poet as well, which poet, novelist, short story writer, and playwright. So I would expect this to also play with form, which would be also interesting. So this one is one of the first ones that is in my. I quite want to read this actually. Then there is The Other Eden by Paul Harding, and this one seems to be very lyrical, and it's about, again, a historical novel, 1792, in the US, in an island where it's kind of like for outcasts, and I am not particularly interested in this, honestly. I don't know, I just feel like when I see an American book, it's not like people from the US cannot write good books, but it's just like we have read so much and we have been exposed of so much from the US that it's so much harder to like impress or shock from that part of the world, just because we are so used to them, that it all kind of feels familiar. So yeah, not particularly interested in that, but again, we'll see about the reviews. Then the next one is Pearl by Cian Hughes, and this one is, it says, contemplates both the power and the fragility of the human mind in the hunting debut novel, which was inspired by the medieval poem of the same name. She looks fairly old to be a debut writer, which is interesting. And it says it's about a girl, an 8-year-old girl that is left alone. Her mother disappears and she's left with her baby brother. And so there are a lot of struggles. This doesn't particularly sound amazingly interesting to me either, but I think this is probably a lot about the writing, and it will be interesting to see the reviews. Yeah, we'll see. Then the next one is All the Little Bird Hearts by Victoria Lloyd Barlow. And this one again is described as lyrical, and offers a depth exploration of motherhood, vulnerability, and the complexity of human relationships. Yeah, and this again sounds like someone that might be in the spectrum, maybe, and has a very carefully crafted life, but there is something darker in that very polished life. No, it's fine. I'll read it if I manage to get a copy or something, but it's not something that I'm like, oh my god, I have to read this. The next one is Prophet Song by Paul Lynch, and again this one is about Dublin, so an Irish author again, I think, and this is about mothers and scientists that the secret police wants to speak with her, and Ireland is falling apart, and everything is falling apart, and there is like something about this scientist woman going on, which sounds interesting. This is another one that I'm like, yes, I'm interested in this. I think this sounds good. I'm less interested in the like plotty mystery kind of vibe that seems to go along this book, and more about mother of 4 scientists, what's going on there. But yeah, this one sounds interesting again, and 2 Irish books, two books I'm interested in. I don't know, do you see a pattern? The next one is In Ascension by Martin McInnes, which this one has been everywhere and people have been putting it in their lists a lot. So I think this one is probably one of the few that people have predicted right. I haven't heard much about any of the other ones. But this is... It says, exploring the natural world with wonder and reverence. This compassionate, deeply inquisitive epic reaches outward to comfort the great question of existence while looking inward to illuminate the human heart. So again, this one sounds interesting. I'm interested in this. Natural world sounds interesting to me. Also, the protagonist seems to have grown up in Rotterdam, which is like 20 kilometers from where I am. So that also sounds like, I don't know how much it plays into the story because the author is not Dutch, he's Scottish. But that sounds interesting to me. It's a lot about science as well, it seems. So a lot of sciencey books that I'm interested in, it seems. But yeah, that's another one that I'm interested in. Then the next one is Western Lane by Chetna Maru. And this is about grief, sisterhood, and teenage girl's struggle to transcend herself and squash. So apparently it's about a girl that is playing squash and something happens, and then her dad becomes obsessed with her being the best at squash and how that crushes her. And I am interested in this one just because, I don't know, that sounds like something I would have loved when I was a teenager, and I guess this is a literary take on it because it's the Booker Prize. So like a grown-out version of what I would have loved to read when I was like 13 myself. So yeah, I'm interested in this one. The next one is The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. This is about a man that had a very lucrative business that is going not so good anymore, and he's trying to do some crazy stuff, and it seems pretty comical and pretty like out there. And yeah, I'm fairly interested in this. Again, the author is from Dublin. I don't know what's up with me and Irish writers, but yeah, I'm interested in this. I think from the ones I'm interested in, this one is a little bit more in the maybe pile. Maybe I have to see reviews of it, kind of. But yeah, this sounds like something that might be fun. And then the last one is The House of Doors by Tan Thuan Eng. And this one seems to be about colonialism a little bit, because it says... masterful novel of public morality and private truth examines the love and betrayal under the shadow of the empire. And it's set in 1921, so it's again a historical fiction in Penang. So yeah, this one I'm interested in. It might just be because of the setting, because there is it's set in Kuala Lumpur, so Malaysia, right? And it's kind of a little bit of a mystery as well, which seems to be a few mysterious kind of books around here. But yeah, I think this sounds interesting as well. Yeah, so I don't know. There are a few. I'm counting now 6 books that I'm actually interested in reading, so almost half of them, but none of them like I have to have it now. And from those, there are 3 of those 6 books that are on audio in script, so that's an easy way to get them. There are another 3 books that are in audio in script that are not in my I want to read this list, but I think I might like get script for this month and listen to as many of them as I can, because audio listening doesn't take away from my reading as much. It's just a separate activity for me because I do it in a different kind of setting and a different kind of time. So I might just pick up the the audiobooks and then see. My library only had the Sebastian Barry, so I'm hoping that they will get some more by the time that, I don't know, I don't want to read anymore. Otherwise, I might buy a couple of them because, yeah, especially How to Build a Boat and the Prophet Song, I think sounds like the most interesting to me, that they're not in script, or maybe script will get them by then. But yeah, so not a very exciting, like overly exciting list, but also not very disappointing. I think it's fairly balanced. I would have loved to see a little bit more like internationals. I think apart from, I mean, there's one Canadian and like 3 Irish authors, and then there is a Nigerian and a Malaysian, and I think yeah, Chetna Maru was born in Kenya and lives in London, but she's white or like Indian. I don't know. She's not black, basically. So yeah, I don't know. I think there is a fair representation of stuff. So yeah, I'm cautiously interested in this list. Not overly excited, not overly disappointed. So yeah, I think that's good. Let me know what you thought about this list. If you are going to read any of the books, all of the books, let me know. And yeah, happy reading. Until next video, bye.